Hello, hello. Welcome back. My name is Amberly. This is really my first time coming in and having this type of live with you straight on YouTube. Before now, I've been a part of a group called, well, it's not really a group, but we were hanging out together in a Facebook group doing these lives for something called LIDA, which is live every day in August. And so I wanted to keep going and bring you more content. So I'm back. My name is Amberly Carter. I'm a digital business manager and a showrunner, which means that I help people who are video content creators to manage their live shows and to help them with all the tech and the behind the scenes of their online businesses. And so I'm here today to talk to you about Amazon Live and my fascination with it. I've really started getting into Amazon Live as a Amazon influencer after joining the Amazon influencer program. But I wanted to tell you about the very first time I went live on Amazon and how it was not at all what I expected it to be. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to make sure all my tech is working properly and that you can actually hear me before I get through a whole show with no audio. So bear with me. All right, it sounds like everything is working as planned. All righty. Okay. So now that we've established that you can actually hear me, those of you who are in the chat, if you can just shoot me a little message and let me know you're here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. So I want to tell you about this story about the first time I went live on Amazon Live and how it was not at all what I thought it was going to be. Let me tell you, I had over prepared and planned to make sure that this live stream went well. I had my products in the carousel. I had all of my tech working. I was testing it out, trying it out multiple times, had my lighting right, readjusted lights. It took me like 30 minutes to make sure my lighting was perfect, right? Make sure you could see me and hear me properly. Make sure all of the items that I wanted to talk about were displayed behind me, right? Like easy access. And I had done a lot of effort and work on making sure my screens were prepared in this software and broadcast system that I use called Ecamm Live. Huge fan of Ecamm Live. If you don't know about it, I'm going to leave a link in the description just so you can click on it and learn about the wonders of Ecamm Live yourself. But I just worked so hard to make sure this live stream was going to go really well. And I was so hung up on making sure that my video was a standout video. I wanted it to look quality, and I put so much effort and energy into making it look good that I forgot to spend more time focusing on my content, to be honest with you. So I was super prepared when it came to making sure all of the lighting worked and that the audio worked, but I didn't check on my content. I had actually wanted to like work on an outline and have that prepared, have it sit right next to me so I was good and ready to go. And your girl was just out there without the things that she needed. In fact, when I went live, I had no makeup on. I had my hair wasn't combed, and I don't even think I had a bra on. So I was just really not prepared. And the reason for that is because on Amazon's app, they have a way for you to practice. They have a practice mode. And your girl didn't press practice mode that day, right? So I had set it up. It's a setting that you have to do in advance. And I didn't do that. I failed to move this little lever over to the right so that you could make sure, so I made sure that it was just in practice mode. And so I was a little embarrassed when I started to notice that I was being watched. And in the right-hand corner, the reason I knew that I was being watched was because in the right-hand corner, you can see the numbers start to climb. So it went from 0 to 1, back down to 0, then up to 2, back down to 0. Like, I kept seeing the numbers on the right hand of my, right hand side of the app and the screen go up and down. So I knew then that I had made a mistake and gone live. And I went on live. I was live on Amazon Live for 6.5 minutes. And that's because when I realized that I was on live, I didn't stop. At that point, I was like, we're in test mode. People are seeing the test. And I need to just keep going. Keep going. I need to show something and produce something here because there's an audience. And maybe it's an opportunity in time for me to share at least 1 or 2 of the products that I had in the carousel already and get some practice in with a small, short audience. And so, I took that time to kind of practice anyway, even though it wasn't in practice mode. I knew that I would be able to go back and delete it if I wanted to. But more than anything, I was like just stunned that I had actually gone live on accident. And I was grateful that I wasn't like in my loungewear or like hanging out in some shorts. Granted, I had a tank top on. So, the goodies was popping. And that's unfortunate. That's not how I wanted to present and show up on live. In fact, I really thought that it was important to come out the gate with quality content. And I thought that the lighting and the sound equipment and all the tech that I had was going to be what set my show apart. But the truth and the reality is that value sets your show apart. You got to provide that. Otherwise, you lose people quickly. And that's just what it is. So I had to quickly recover by finding ways to engage my audience on the fly. And with this being my very first time, I don't think I was very good at it. I did let the audience know, hey, I didn't intend to go live. I'm not even really supposed to be here. But let me tell you what I am doing. And I use it as a time to promote the show that I actually plan to do later in the day. So I think I had messed up and like accidentally gone live, and I wasn't supposed to go live for another like 30 minutes or an hour or something. I don't know. But I knew I had gone on too soon. So I knew I needed to go back into the app and just recreate that event. And so the reason I'm telling you all of this is because I know that there is a sense of fear that comes from public speaking. And folks who really truly would probably be very great as live streamers, live sellers, or even Amazon Live influencers. And so I want to encourage you, and whether or not that's your path, that's fine. But this is something that a lot of people can relate to, is their need to push past something and to just allow themselves to continue on after they've made a mistake, right? And so there are a few lessons that I learned out of this. That's just one, but there are a few lessons. And so I wanted to share a few of the lessons that I learned from this experience with you. And if you follow me on LinkedIn, I have my own newsletter called The Showrunner Secrets. And so that's what you're viewing here is a video podcast of that. And so what I've shared with people is that this segment that I am introducing today is called No Tech Team on the Scene. And this is really going to highlight and share moments when you didn't have a big team. It was just you were solo producing a podcast or some live show, so that I can walk you through and help you to be able to be a better content creator and to put out better videos, even if you don't have a remote live producer or a tech team that can help you to manage all the things that are happening with the tech gremlins in the background. So that's what this show is about. That's what this segment is about. And let's get on with it, right? So let's talk about a few of those lessons that I learned. Okay, so the first one is that sometimes you just have to get on with it, right? Like, get started already. How many of you have a big, huge goal that you're terrified to complete and do and go after because you're terrified of failing or whatever it is that you're afraid of, there's some hesitation there. Let me tell you, there are 3-4 months left in 2023. I advise you to take action today, right? Get on with it. You're never going to feel fully prepared to do something you've never done before. So I want to encourage you to just step out there and take action. Whatever it is, whatever that goal is, whatever that dream is, whatever it was that you told yourself you were going to do in 2023, if you haven't started it yet, you go out there and you take the first tangible step there is towards that goal. Okay? Because having progress is better than having nothing, right? So even if you don't complete the goal in 2023, how much happier would you be having at least started it in 2023 and being on your way to achieving it and having success with whatever that is in 2024? So put yourself out there, Put yourself out there. I'm saying 2024. I totally skipped over 2023, right? So this is 2022. If there's something you wanted to do this year, you got to get started. You cannot complete and conquer your goals if you don't get started. And so I learned from accidentally going live that sometimes you just got to push forward. Sometimes you just have to get on with it and get the first one over with so that you can get the second one over with, so that you can get the third one over with. And then finally, you have some type of rhythm, right? So that's kind of what today is, right? I decided that I was going to come in and start doing YouTube videos. I did a whole month of live streams in the month of August. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I've done 31 days of live shows consecutively. So now I'm at a stage where I'm comfortable doing this. I'm comfortable in front of the camera and talking to the camera. Though sometimes it does feel like I'm talking to myself. I do realize that there are people who are going to catch the replay. People who are going to encourage me and tell me to keep going, even though I may not have any viewers right now. Might be some valuable content in this, and somebody might get something from it and be impacted. So it's better to just get on with it and get started and start doing something, So if you have a hard time with getting started because you feel like you have to have something planned, I would advise you, if you're a business owner, to hire a digital business manager. Get that person who can create your step 0 to step 394 of your process of whatever it is you're trying to launch or start or do or grow. And then you just have to focus on implementing. So let them be the person who is planning it out and let you be a doer, right? So I want this to be your chance to step out on faith and to just do the thing that you know that you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is just discover the easiest way to accomplish whatever your goal is, right? So don't make it hard and complicated. The truth of the matter is, when I went live for the first time on Amazon, I made it too hard. I was sitting up here messing with the lights. I was messing with the camera. I was trying to get my mirrorless camera to work and do all the things and have a teleprompter and have my, just doing the absolute most for a first timer. When the truth of the matter is, it was my first show and it probably would have been garbage anyway, right? Now, it wasn't terrible, but it probably would have been pretty bad. And knowing that the first time you do something, you may not always be the best at it, sometimes the best plan of action is to just get it done, right? Whatever the easiest route to doing that is, you got to show up and make that happen. You got to show up and just put yourself out there for the first time and do it. Because, if you keep doing it, eventually you're going to hone that craft and you're going to be so much better on your 37th take than you are on your first. So just keep going. It's kind of like, I use this analogy at work today. I was giving a presentation to some folks, some colleagues of mine, and we were talking about what it's like to go through hell. And I was like, well, they say if you're going through hell, you just got to keep going, right? So you can get to the other side of it. And so that's exactly what I would tell you with this situation is that you just want to keep going until you get through it and you've accomplished what it is that you're trying to do. But the easiest way to do that is to take the easiest route and the easiest path. So chart your easiest path to accomplishing whatever it is that you're trying to start for the very first time. Okay? So I shouldn't have been fidgeting with the tech. I learned that the hard way. I should not have been trying to figure out tech the very first time that I got on Amazon Live. I should have just used my phone, the one simple thing that I know works for me, and pressed live, go live. Press go live, press the button and just go. And so if you're worried about getting started with Amazon Live, I would say just grab your camera, press the button, and just go. Okay? Your first time is going to be terrible. And you're probably going to delete that video. I know I'm probably going to delete my day one video. Right now it's still up. But it's a reminder. It's a reminder of all these lessons that I'm telling you right now. So go in and go out. Go out with a bang, right? On that very first one. And so number three is to focus on giving value to your audience. I was so stuck on making sure my live show had a feeling, had a look, had all these things going for it to make it stand out, that I failed to really focus on the content and the value that I would be providing. Because if I let that be the priority, then I wouldn't have let tech get in the way, right? I wouldn't have been sitting at this desk trying to figure out, okay, does my background look good? Do I have the pictures that I want showing? Do I have the books that I want showing? I would not have been focused on those things if I was truly focused on providing value to you and the things that you want to know about. Because truly, when you're live selling to somebody, you want to talk about what matters to them, right? If you're shopping with me and you come to Amazon Live and shop with me, then you are going to want to know, how big is whatever it is I'm selling and what's the cost and are there any discounts? How soon will I receive it? Is the shipping fast? You want to know these things. It's not so much of, oh, what type of lighting did you use? What camera do you have? You may be curious, but the truth of the matter is that's not what sells a product, right? That's not what's selling something to you on Amazon Live. So I had to figure out for myself that all of this fancy stuff, like this is cute. I'm using Ecamm Live now that I've taken some time to figure out how to use it. And it's beautiful. But the point of the matter is, it's not what's going to sell stuff on Amazon. I am. What I say to you, how I interact with you, how I engage with you, if I'm answering your questions in the chat, right? If I'm giving you what it is that you came here for, that's what's going to sell a product on Amazon Live. And so I came to that realization that I was not, in that very first video, providing enough value for anyone, whether it be the one or two people that showed up or if I had gotten 100 people. I wouldn't have sold a thing, right? I wouldn't have sold anything because I was too busy trying to do something that I'm not even supposed to be doing on Amazon Live, which was self-promote. Like, hey, make sure you catch my show at 7. That's inappropriate, right? And I did that because I was in sticker shock. I was in shock that I was on live and that people were watching me and I wasn't prepared to be on yet. I just wasn't ready. And the truth of the matter is, I would have preferred to have had time to comb my hair and do my makeup. So in my mind, I'm thinking about those things and not thinking about what it is you might really want to know from me, right? So even if it was practice, why am I not practicing content that I should be sharing and saying, So this is not going to be a session where I talk about all the bad things that I should have done on my very first live, I promise you. But I do want to mention it because I need you to know that when you show up here, it should be about providing the content and the value that folks need, not necessarily being hung up on aesthetics and, capturing my cuteness or whatever it is, right, for you to see. So focus on giving more value to your audience and they'll stick around because if you don't, They will scroll very quickly. You will notice that people are not going to stick around and wait on you to figure out what it is they are trying to learn from you on Amazon Live to buy that product. They're going to move on, and that's like giving away your audience and giving away your dollars to another Amazon Live influencer. So you got to give what people want, or they're going to click away quickly. All right? That's no way to stop the scroll. So, fourth, you want to launch, when you launch on a new platform, and I hope you're listening to me, please be paying attention to this. If you've heard nothing else, listen up. Come close. When you launch on a new platform, you have to teach your followers how to follow you. You have to teach them how to find you, right? So if you don't teach them where to go, if you don't teach them how to engage with you on a new platform, you will never succeed. So yes, even though I had one or two people show up, and Amazon Live does help you to get followers, it helps you to, and by helping you to get followers, I mean they will share your videos on the main page, right? The more followers you receive, the more content that you create. Once you hit the insider level as a Amazon influencer, they're sharing your content for you and helping people to watch you, right? So they're helping you to be found. But before you get there, right, like when you are just new to the app, and let's say you just signed on and you haven't reached your allotted time in order to move to the next level, what you need to know is that you're supposed to be leveraging your content and leveraging your audience on other platforms to sell in Amazon Live app, which means that you have to teach your followers over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, how to find you on Amazon Live, right? You have to teach them how to find you, and then you have to teach them how to follow you, right? So when I am doing a live on Amazon Live, when I go live and I'm starting a stream, how do you know how to watch that stream? And when you get to that stream, how do you know how to ask a question about what it is that I'm sharing that's inside of the carousel? Okay, and then when you are looking at the item that's inside of the carousel, how do you purchase it? You have to literally walk people through how to use this. Amazon Live is not known to everybody. Not everybody knows what this new app is and the power of Amazon. They may understand what Amazon is because they go and shop on Amazon, but maybe they've never seen the videos that pop up when they're shopping, because there may not have been a video for the thing they were trying to buy. That's a very real possibility right now, because not everybody's hit to Amazon Live or the Amazon influencer program just yet, right? So you have to be mindful that you are dealing with people who may not know what Amazon Live is at all, or live selling, live shopping at all. So what is your plan to get your followers to be browsers that are turned into buyers, right? How do you turn your browsers into buyers? You have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy for moving your followers from one platform to Amazon Live, because that is the whole premise, is that you have an influence on people somewhere else. They're already shopping on Amazon, so you just want to show up when it's time for them to buy the thing that you're suggesting on your other sites, right? And so this was a concept that I was not thinking about when I first went live. And so I had 1 to 2 followers, and it wasn't even followers. It was 1 to 2 unmuted views. That's how they label it. Because when you first view a Amazon Live video, it's muted. I don't know if you know that, but it's muted. And they have to literally click on the video in order to hear the sound. So you can't hear what I'm selling. You might be able to see what's in the carousel, but you can't hear what I'm selling or hear me sell it to you unless you click on it. And video quality helps with that, right? So I'm not trying to take away anything from having good lighting, good features, and all the picture-in-picture and bedazzle and animation. All of that is really cool and fun and exciting and will get people to pay attention to you and stop their scroll. What I'm saying is if you want to keep them, if you want to keep them if you want to turn them into a follower, if you want to turn a browser into a buyer, then you must figure out how to engage with your audience and you must teach them how to engage with you. Okay? And so take the time to nurture your audience on all of your platforms that you have. And then you will be able to bring them over to Amazon Live, because in order to join Amazon Live, you really kind of have to already have a influence on a group of people. Whether that's a small group or a large group, that's fine. But you need to have somewhat of an influence and bring those people over so that they can shop with you. Because people ain't going to be out here spending money with strangers. Okay? They need to know you. So last, but certainly not least, I want to share my last and final tip. Okay? It's probably the most important tip out of all of these, but I left it to the end so that I can sign off with it. So all right, this is the mega one. And that is that sometimes you have to give yourself a pep talk. You have to give your own self a pep talk. Yep. You have to tell yourself good things. You have to encourage yourself, and you have to build up your confidence. Okay? And so if I hadn't have done that in the moment that I realized that I was going live, I'd have shut down. Right? So when I realized that I saw the numbers increasing, when I went live on accident, that is when I had to speak to myself. I had to encourage myself to stay on and to keep giving content, keep giving value. What little I had remembered in my head because I didn't have anything written down, right? So I had to really consider, what can I say in this moment and not be ashamed of myself? What can I do to recover from the fact that I know I'm not necessarily dressed in the most comfortable attire or what I would have liked to have been dressed in. My makeup's not done. My hair's not combed. I'm not looking cute, but I'm here and I'm showing up, right? So I just told you that I did 31 days of live in August, right? Every single day I went live. There are days when I didn't want to do it, but I had to give myself a little pep talk and say, this is about your confidence. This is about you proving to yourself that you can be consistent, that you can do this work and be a full-time content creator. And so I took it upon myself to give myself the pep talk that I needed in that moment so that I would just continue the stream. And although it was short, I still did it, and I still completed my goal, which was to start at Amazon Live. And then I actually went back on and recorded the actual one later, which ended up being 90 minutes long. My very first one, because I wanted to hit that goal. And I still think I'm going to do my 90-minute, my first live over. It was for National Book Lovers Day. It's still up right now. You can view it and you can still shop that video. But I want to do it over because I know that I made some mistakes as an Amazon influencer. Things that they encourage you not to do as an influencer on the app. And so I want to go back and do it right. And I want to keep doing it until I've mastered this thing called Amazon Live. And I've answered all your questions and have helped you to figure out how to do Amazon Live, because I do think it is the new wave and what we're about to launch into. And so, it's about pumping yourself up sometimes, right? And I'm going to read to you what I tell myself whenever I need to show up, simply put, right? Because your girl can talk herself out of doing some stuff, right? I don't know about you, but if I'm sitting on the couch eating some Oreos and drinking a glass of wine, I don't necessarily want to get up and do whatever work I'm being asked to do. Labor is not something I truly enjoy. I want to rest, right? I like the soft life. And so, and this is what I tell myself, okay? This is what I tell myself. I said, though you may not be famous, you are still the main character in your life. You need a plan for today and a system for everything else that's happening tomorrow. This isn't Hollywood. You don't have to be perfect, but it is live show business. You do need to show up, darling. So that is what I tell myself when I'm like, I don't feel like showing up today. Okay, you're not a celebrity. You're not famous. You're not getting a check right now from YouTube, but that could be in your future. And the truth of the matter is, you show up for yourself because you're the main character in your own story, in your own life. And so if that doesn't motivate you to show up, then you got to figure out what is going to motivate you. But what I do know is that when you're not motivated, you should be disciplined because discipline will bring the motivation. Okay. Now I think I've handed you a few nuggets tonight and given you enough content to get to know who I am and what this show will be moving forward. And so I just wanted to hop in, give you a little taste of what's to come here on the Hello MB channel, my Showrunner Secrets show. And this is something that I plan to do twice a week. So you can expect to see me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central. Okay, you won't see me this Thursday because I'm headed out of town. But most Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be showing up right here. And then sometimes in between on Amazon Live, I'll always let you know because I'll be streaming on both ends. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. And, I look forward to hanging out with you in the future. All right. Bye-bye now.